G'day. So I'm sitting here playing the game, just doing a few of the dailies as I do on my Silver Alt. And lo and behold, in the chat channel in this kingdom, we have just had an argument. Not me personally, many other players. But it's something that it falls down to that really bugs the
oh my gosh!
out of me. You know, I really think this game, okay, is a game for players, clearly. It's a game for people who have expendable cash, people who have big bank accounts and big salaries do very well in this game. People who have lots of time to sit in front of a computer and put in hours upon hours upon hours playing it. And to what end? I would ask myself sometimes. I really would. But anyway, my point about it is there are people, you get people saying, has stealing rare caves become permissible? Now, this happens in every kingdom. Any busy kingdom, you will regularly come across a situation that crypts are not available, or you're marching to a crypt and somebody else starts marching to a crypt, or you open a rare crypt and somebody else goes to that rare crypt because they're sitting waiting watching that rare crypt. You know, there are people in this game who will play it in a different style than, let's say, a normal individual like you or I might play, and that's fine. You know, everyone is entitled to play the game whatever way they wish. They all pay their hard-earned cash if they're using the likes of any of the packs that they get, speed-ups, etc., or, you know, artifacts or whatever they get to speed them up to go to a crypt. The point about it is this. It's not the player's fault. So there's no point in getting all riled up and calling another player names just because they do this. The game makes them, lets them, gives them the opportunity to do this. So the only person that you should be aggravated or annoyed with when something like that happens to you is the game developers. Okay, this isn't a personal thing. When people do things like this, people saying this is unfair play, I'd never do that, it's not against the road, but it's not good practice. Look, if I set a march out to a citadel, a level 10 for example, and I set a slow march out, okay, and somebody else sees that same level 10 citadel and they look at my line going to it, attack line, and they can see that I'm marching very slowly, that's my problem for marching slowly. If they decide they're going to go and they're going to use 5 speed ups and they're going to get there in a tenth of the time that I'm going to get, good luck to them. Let them go for it. Let them take the citadel. The same should apply to crypts in the kingdom. If you don't have the wherewithal to be able to one-shot, i.e. that you can't open a crypt that you're marching to in one go and you have to come back to it a second time, then somebody else is entitled to come along and take that crypt, okay? Best practice, being nice. This game isn't about being nice, okay? We get outlaws in this game all the time and they cause absolute... Actually, that'll be a new video. Keep an eye out for that one. That'll be a very interesting one. Actually, I might do that a live feed. But back to the point. This game is made, the developers set it up in such a way as to allow these things to happen. If they didn't allow these things to happen, then they would set scripts in place that if somebody's marching to a particular crypt, a particular citadel, that somebody else couldn't march to that same crypt or citadel. Or, and the simpler solution to this, is if the developers took their finger out of their butts for a minute.
Wow.
They could in fact write into the script that if a level 20 crypt gets explored, the second it gets explored and disappears off the map, another one is instantly respawned. They could do that for every single feature in this game, but they don't. Why do they not? Because they are setting players against each other. I really think it's coming to a point, and if enough people get on board with this, and this is a very, very interesting point, and I think a very good suggestion. The only reason the developers are lining their pockets with players' money from this game, you and I and many others that aren't on my channel or don't know about my channel, is because we are paying their wages. We are playing this game. We are buying packs, mercenary packs. We are paying for things to speed things up. We're buying resources, etc., etc., etc. Well, hey, maybe it's about time we had a players' council. It's time you listen to the players. And a players' council can bring points and facts and things that the players don't like to the developers and say, hey guys, how about you change this? If you don't, then we as a players' council will talk to all the other players and we'll stop purchasing your packs. We have the power to drive this game in a direction we want it to go, okay? It's not open source. Sure, the developers came up with it. They have the great... In general, it's a good game. There's many a fact that I would like them to make better in the game. But I think, really do think at this stage that it's worthwhile getting a players' council. And if the players' council can get enough players within the game to go by a vote on what best way to go forward, what could be added to the game, what would make it easier. I'll give you a perfect example. Mercenary exchanges. Okay, mercenary exchanges are impossible to find. Sure, there's lots of mercenary exchange chats. I might list them up at some stage in another video. But by the time you get to that mercenary exchange, there are hundreds, if not thousands of lines running to it. You might never get mercenaries. Okay, mercenaries could be improved. They could make more mercenaries in kingdoms. They could even make it that the watchtower can find mercenary exchanges. So you can constantly be on your watchtower, look for crypts, you can look for citadels. Why not be able to look for mercenary exchanges? Why not make more? Why not spawn more mercenary exchanges? Simple, but effective. And the developers might say, well, no, we want to make it that it's hard to find them and you know, they're a special feature in the game. They are a special feature in the game, but they're actually shooting themselves in the foot. Because what do we spend when we go to Mercenary Exchange? Silver. Where do we get silver? Well, if we can't create it, we have to purchase packs. So if they decided to put more mercenary exchanges out there, they'd actually find that players would buy more packs because they'll need silver to be able to get these mercs. You know, there's so many things. I could go on and on and on, but the big thing is this. Players need to stop attacking each other because of crypts and because of citadels. It's unhealthy, okay? You wouldn't say this to a person's face. So don't say it. Why do you think it's fair to say it in the chat? I made a point down here, if I can find the point I made, and it's as simple as this. Guys, it's very simple. Blame the game, not the player. You wouldn't even be having this conversation / argument / disagreement if the developers treated us all with a modicum of respect, and the second a citadel / crypt was completed, a new one spawned. This fighting amongst each other is exactly what they want. They could easily rewrite the game script to respawn all those targets instantly, yet they choose not to for whatever way their warped brains work. And I stand by that. They have warped brains in this game. And finally I said, so please don't blame each other for trying to play this, at times idiotic and fault-filled POS. I think you all know what that stands for. Game. Blame the developers. And I had a couple of people say, you're right, appreciate more prints. Thank you, Robin Hood. Well said. I remember very well how it was that small cities were out of reaching distance, or just so few. So look, I know players agree with me. I'm sure the majority of you would agree with me. It's not about fighting each other in this game. It's about playing the game as it is. But the developers can certainly make it a little bit fairer and prevent all of this backbiting and name calling and chat. Kingdom chat is just a disaster when you look at people calling people names because they went to a crypt at the same time as somebody else. Anyway, that's the video for today. I hope it interests you. Please, please, please leave a comment below the video description. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, maybe if we get enough people together, enough people interested, it's something that we could do. I think a players' council would work really well. It can be in one of the global chat channels. There can be a new chat channels made for it. But if us as players all get together, we can drive this game forward the way we want it to go. the developers can still make all these new mini events and new main events. Sure, go ahead and do all of that. But let's us have a discussion and a talk about how we can improve the game that we pay hard-earned cash for. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Curf, peace out.